Okay.
All right, guys. So I'm actually going to go into kind of compensation and everything since people got their checks. I guess some of them have not looked, some of them have looked.
Prelims.
So for prelims, that isn't your actual paycheck, but it will be pretty close to what your paycheck's going to be. So for any of you guys that got a bonus, you definitely have to focus on getting that rank or getting that commission. So where whenever that bonus goes away, you're still making the same amount of money or more. That's why we're always pushing, always adding new people, always talking to new people. Same thing with potentials. You got to be talking to new people all the time. So anybody that is supposed to get like a Ruby bonus, like the guarantee, those are going to be paid out in May, is what we're being told. So they have to figure out what you're supposed to make and then subtract that from $1,000.
Make sure you get all of it.
So they want to make sure that how much you made and then figure out what they're going to pay you on top of that to get to the $1,000. So, and then a lot of you in here, I see quite a few names that are new, also some other names that aren't new. One thing you guys have to really focus on is when you look at your checks, it's a residual income. So let's say you got a $150 check, okay? You have to think that you're going to at least make $150 for probably at least 3 months. So whatever work you put in, it's going to happen over and over again. You know, we had a month, we only helped 2 customers one month and for about $60. And I looked at my wife and I said, holy cow, our paycheck went up $800 and we only helped the company make an extra $60 this month. That's when you know the power of residual income, okay? So if you got 150, you're probably going to get 150 next month and 150 the next month, hopefully 150 at least the following month. So you put in the work now to get paid over and over again. That's what you guys have to focus on. And you always want that to grow, you know what I mean, as you go. Because if you're at 150 now and then you get, 180 or 200 or 300 or 500, I mean, we've seen people go from 150 to 2,000 in 1 month, okay? So you got to keep pushing because there's no reason to stop pushing, especially right now. This is prime time season where people want these products because it's starting to get nice out, the weather, everything else, okay? So we're always pushing for the next spot up, I guess. Fast starts are a huge thing. When you get somebody started, you get 2 customers. I actually see 2 people on here that earned a fast start today. I don't even think they know they earned it. But I know they earned it. So they made a $100 bonus today. One girl it's her first one, which is really exciting because a lot of you started for $20 or maybe $10 even, and getting a fast start for $100 is crazy. And I looked at it as I just told Stephanie earlier today. I said, so if somebody gets started for $20 and their paycheck's $30 this month, they made 150% more than what they paid. So imagine it like I spent $44,000 to have my landscaping company. That means I would have had to make $66,000 on the same scale that first month. You know how long it took me to make $66,000? A long time, like years to get there. So a lot of you that if you weren't happy with your paycheck, you got to go get more. A lot of you on here have had help. We focus on, obviously working with workers, but a lot of you are in spots that you're getting a paycheck right now that truly you don't deserve. That's a hard thing to say, but it's the truth. A lot of you are in spots that somebody else is helping you a lot, and maybe you're not happy with that paycheck. And there's a lot of people on here that are extremely happy with their paycheck because they earned it. That's where you have to you have to focus on you and say, okay, there's a couple people in here, they might've got $1,000 or $1,500, $2,000. And really how much did you earn? Okay. This is the only business where you are going to make what you earn or more. You know what I mean? So you definitely have to focus on what you brought to the table. Did I earn that paycheck? What should make me happy? You know what I mean? So definitely focus on that. Anything else?
Nope. I'll take it from there.
Okay.
I kind of want to just touch on that real quick for a second because I'd have to put my red, yellow twist on it. I know what it's like to look at a paycheck. And Riley, please go upstairs.
I just need
I gave you a hug twice already. I love you. Good night. I want you guys to know what it's like to open a paycheck or look at a prelim or whatever and be disappointed. I also know what it's like to open a prelim and be extremely ecstatic. And I'm only saying that because there are half of you on here that are either going to let looking at your prelims make you step backwards, and you're going to let Satan step in and kill, steal, and destroy your business, or you're going to look at it and you're going to be honest with yourself, because I've had to have those moments where you're like, did I do enough? And if the answer is yes, you just have to give it time. It's a business. Like literally, you're not going to be able to come into this and just make thousands and thousands of dollars in your first month, 2 months, 3 months by working this for like a few minutes here and there. Okay. Those of you who looked at your checks that are excited, I know you're excited. I know who you are, and I'm very proud of you. And I just want to tell you guys, like, there's a lot of you that are not on my team, and you deserve it. And now you need to keep the momentum going. And we're about to show you how to do that. Okay. So, this Zoom for the next 30 minutes is going to be about showing you guys how to work your business. Okay. I feel like there's a lot of Zoom sometimes where we get on here and we just talk at you guys. And when we put in these daily tasks in the run group, some of you don't know what they are, or you're not actually doing them, or maybe you don't understand them. And we want to make sure that you do get that, because it is much easier to teach in a mass setting than us to individually teach 20 people different times throughout the day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unmute Nikole. And we are going to go through, because we're going to really focus on Nikole today, because so many of you are intrigued by how she enrolls so many distributors and loyal customers. Okay. And she doesn't have some type of unicorn fairy dust that was sprinkled on her to make her do this. She has just been consistent from the beginning, whether or not she loved her paycheck or not. And I can tell you right now, she's loving her paycheck. So we're going to let her and I kind of teach you. I'm going to unmute you, Nikole. Actually, you might need to unmute yourself. Will it let you? Okay. So what I want to do, guys, if you have questions, I want you to put them in the chat. So Nikole, what I want you to start with is, when you wake up in the morning, what is the first thing you do? And then what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to kind of play off of each other, and I'm going to ask her to explain how she does it. So when you wake up, Nikole, what is the first thing you do?
Get the baby's milk ready.
And then after you pump and maybe brush your teeth.
So I feed the baby, and then I have about 20 minutes where I'm doing what I have to do, that I automatically, I check all my notifications. I get back to any messages that are there. I go to a Top Enrollers story on Instagram. I screenshot the stories that I want.
So can you tell me who you might follow on Instagram if people are using their story, that may be a couple good people to follow?
Erin Tweed is a good one.
Put it in the chat, guys, so you guys know.
Melissa, she does a nice job with her story. I put her in there.
What's her last name?
M-E-L-I-S-A.
You remember? Melissa?
It's,
I can look it up.
here, she just messaged me. It's, oh, and my phone.
I should know that. Jake was
I know, I'm having a brain fart. It's Melissa.
I get it. Go ahead.
Found it?
Yeah.
He's looking.
Okay. So pretty much just them two is what I use. And I mean, that takes me literally like 2 minutes. I mean, the story should be the quickest thing you do. Make sure one of them's a poll.
So,
or say, you know.
real quick, when you are taking, you said you're taking screenshots. There's some names in there, guys. When you're taking screenshots of their story, one of the things I want you to know is you have to like does yours make you kind of hold your finger down on the screen? Okay. So guys, if you want to take a screenshot and like you wonder how we come up with stuff on our story, yes, we are creative. But if you're adding to your story and you get inspiration from other people, it's totally fine to take a screenshot of somebody else's story. but you have to hold your finger down sort of on the picture while you're taking a screenshot on your phone, because if not, that person's name is going to be at the top of the picture and that doesn't look good. So feel free to go to Erin Tweed's, Melissa's, Jade's, Noelle's, mine, Autumn's, Nicole's. You can go to our stories and take like inspiration from it and hold your finger down on it and take a screenshot, and then you can add it to your story. And you're doing that at the beginning of the day. Why, Nikole? Why is that so important?
Well, because everyone's going to be scrolling their stories throughout the day, and you're going to, the more viewers you have, you want to pop up in people's, you know, in their posts and their story. And it's kind of nice to see every day when you start to get the same people looking at your stuff. They may start commenting, they may start answering your poll, commenting on your kids' pictures or your quotes. Like they're more active with you.
And stories weight like very high on the algorithm, which means, guys, if you're not adding to your story, you're missing an entire group of people, because there are people that don't actually scroll Facebook. They only look at stories. So you want to make sure, whether or not you're really working Instagram or not, you can link your Instagram story to your Facebook story, okay? So if you are on Instagram, okay, whether you, like again, if you're very consistent with Instagram or not, say maybe you just use your story and you post occasionally, you want to make sure that you go into, let me see if I can show you this. Nope, I got to darken it. So if you go into your actual Instagram, like where you see your page, okay? If you go in and you click on the top, it'd be the top right, like 3 lines, then you're going to be able to click on settings at the bottom. And this is an Android, so I don't know how Apple is. And you want to go in and you want to change it where it says privacy and notifications. There's under privacy, it says story controls. You want to scroll to the bottom and make sure that it has sharing to Facebook on. So the reason that's important is because Nikole and I are all about being the most efficient with working. So why would you want to post on your Facebook story and your Instagram story separately when you could post to one and it'll automatically post to the other one for you? So if you have not done that, you need to go into your Instagram settings, change it under privacy and story controls to share to your Facebook. And then when you go in, like she's doing in the morning, and you add to your story. So if you don't know how to add to your story and you're in Instagram, you can actually click on this little camera up top, and you can, your little gallery, I don't know how yours is, but like you can click and like the little gallery will come up, and you can pick, now's not the time for my phone to do that. You can pick different pictures from your gallery. You can put videos in there. You can add polls. So like when you click it, little pictures will come up. Like this is Nikole looking at her prelims. So like I could get in there and I could like, if you click this little square up here, that's where you can add fun stuff. Like this will pop up and you could add the time, you could add the temperature. I know this is kind of hard for you to see. There's one that says polls. This is that little square at the top right here. For all of you who don't understand Instagram on your story, this has a lot of a lot of features. You can add music to a picture. You can add a poll there. But that's, I just briefly, I want you guys to understand, because in our daily tasks, we're telling you to add to your story. So if you're not adding to your story, you're missing out on a ton of people that could be watching you. So after you add to your story, Nikole, and when you said notifications, where would those notifications be coming in from? Are they coming in from like likes on your posts, or where are they coming from?
Yeah, and I did forget one thing. The first thing I actually do before I even get out of bed, as dumb as this sounds, I post my morning quotes. So I make sure I do that, like literally as soon as I wake up or as soon as I put my phone in my hand, I at least just get my morning quote. I have a lot of people that'll follow me and say, thanks so much for your inspiration, or so I always say, you know, have a good day, and I have a positivity quote. So
where do you get your positivity quotes from?
I go to Pinterest. You can type in, you know, motivation, or, you know, Monday quotes or happy quotes. I mean, literally you can type in anything you want.
Okay, and that's your very first post of the day?
Yes.
Okay, so that makes it easy for people who have busy lifestyles. You could go into Pinterest and you could save 7 quick pictures, and you have for the entire week.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Then what do you do after you check your notifications and add to your story?
Check my messages to see if there was any.
Okay.
From the night before, and if there was, I get back to them.
Okay. When you are, do you do follow-ups in the morning?
I do them whenever Bryce lets me do them.
Okay, so what a lot of people will see on that daily to-do list is they'll see follow-up. So a lot of people are like, who do I follow up with? So tell me who you're following up with. Is it the people that you talked to the day before? Like who when you go to follow up, are you actually sending a message to?
First off, I follow up with everybody that dropped an emoji the day before on a host to post. Whether they answered back or not, they still get, at least if they opened it and I see their face there, I send them my follow-up message.
And what is your follow-up message? What is, you can just read it and I'll type it there or something.
It is, and obviously I'll change it for whatever products it is or whatever their name is.
Okay.
But it's just super simple. Hey Steph, hope you're having a great day. Just wanted to touch base and see what questions you had about the ThermoFight X, ? That's it. I keep it super simple.
Okay. I'm putting this in here real quick, guys. Hey,
Okay.
hope you're having a good day. Just wanted to touch base and see if you had any questions on the ThermoFight X. So
Yep.
that is as simple as, so that's one way you follow up. Anybody that dropped an emoji on a hap the day before, and then do you write their name down in your calendar again?
If they answer me back.
Okay.
When
So,
they answer me back,
can
I
you
write
tell-
their name down again.
So can you tell people a little bit how you keep track of the people that drop? So like say today you posted there was a hat posted, okay? And somebody dropped an emoji. As soon as they drop an emoji, what do you do and how do you keep track of them so you don't lose them?
I like and comment and say, messaging you back. Or actually, you know what I'm doing now? This is super helpful. I've learned. I'm actually saying I'm friending and messaging you now. And I notice more people are getting the haps. More people are accepting my friend requests. And I've just started that the last couple of days, and it's made a big improvement on how many people actually open it.
Because I want you guys to understand, if they're not your friend and you send them a message before they accept your friend request, your message goes into like an other folder. So you may be taking it personal, like nothing's happening. And I've actually been doing that too. It's a great tip. It's something I forgot to tell people. If you have people that are commenting on haps and you're like, why is nobody getting back to me? Go back to those haps, reply again. Hey, I sent you a friend request and check your messenger, because if they don't accept your friend request, your message just went in like la la land. So that's a good, so if you sent them a friend request and you sent them that message and then you write their name down.
For the following day.
Okay. So you are keeping track, you're writing down literally everybody's name that comments under a hap.
Under a product post hap. If it's for the giveaway, no, I don't write their name down.
Right. For a product.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then, so you'd be following up with people that you didn't talk to, like from the day before that you wrote down.
Mm-hmm.
And then who else would you follow up with?
Anybody that I had previous conversations with, and maybe we started talking about the price or something and they disappeared, and maybe I wrote their name down, or they gave me a date and said, I want to do some research. Can you follow up with me in a couple of days? Or, hey, I get paid on the 5th. Can you message me on the 5th? So I have their name written down and I have it circled, so I know that means they want to order.
So how many people do you feel like percentage-wise, just do a ballpark? Because I feel like a lot of people, when they look at your numbers for how many you sign, how many are actually signing the very first time you talk to them, and how many are follow-ups? Like what percentage have either given you a date or you followed up with them multiple times before they ordered?
I never did a percentage. Let's say, how many did I sign? Let's see, last month I signed, I forget, 55 LCs. Maybe 10 of those signed on the spot. I think this month I've signed 13 so far, and 2 have signed on the spot. And those are both last night. Just total whims. They didn't want the greens. They didn't want anything else they offered. They just wanted the ThermoFight.
So most of them are coming from follow-ups because you're writing their names down and then you're following up with them with a...
And they're not just one follow-up. I mean, so just to give another tip, so all week, I'll follow up, and then Friday, because payday is on Friday for most people, I will go through my calendar again, and every person that I have written down, I will message them again.
For that week?
Yep, to touch base and make sure I didn't miss anybody, make sure a conversation didn't go dead. Maybe they got busy and forgot to reply, because that happens a lot.
Okay. So you do notifications, you do some follow-ups. So take me through then after you kind of get Bryce settled, like tell me the rest, like a little bit more for what you do for the day.
So once that's done, I work on HAPs. So the beginning of the month, I focus on the purse giveaway. I'll usually do the purse giveaway twice during the month, like around the 1st and around the 15th. So like I'm still working off of that right now. But once that kind of goes dead and I don't have anybody else commenting, I work off my friends list.
How many are you asking a day?
Minimum is 50, but the last week and a half of last month, since I was pushing so hard for my double, I was sending 100.
And how long do you think that really takes you to actually send out 50 HAP asks?
Not long. I not to be too personal, but I do it when I'm pumping in a 20-minute session. I literally, because I have 20 minutes by myself, I can usually knock out 2 columns on my friends list.
Okay.
Sometimes I may have to come back and like do 30 more, but it doesn't take long, because you're using text replacement or doing copy and paste. But I think you should always make sure you're putting your name in there. So don't just say, hey, can I ask you a favor? Make sure you're saying, hey, Steph, can I ask you a favor?
Is that the message you use? What is the HAP ask like message you use for people that are wondering like how simple is it?
I'm using, hey Lisa, I have a quick favor to ask you, and no, I'm not asking you to buy anything, comma, LOL. And then I have a smiley face and a heart and a funny face.
Okay. So it's very simple.
Mm-hmm.
And then do you like take it personally? I mean, like, okay, so say you send out, again, this is ballpark. I know it's different every day, but I know a lot of people are like, I'm sending out those and I'm not getting people to respond back. How many people, if you sat down in a 20-minute session, do you get people that'll still ignore you and not say anything back?
All the times. I mean, some days I'll be lucky if 2 people respond back to me.
Okay.
I mean, it just depends on the day, depends on the people you're talking to.
What about, do you ever, when you're working off your friends list, do you ever unfriend people?
I unfriend every day. Instead of friending right now, I'm unfriending, to be honest. Because how am I going to add new friends when you know what I mean? So I unfriend every day. If you're going to ignore me, if you were interested and all of a sudden went MIA, I don't have room for that. So I unfriend.
Okay, so let's talk about friending. I know we friend by HAP. So if you have somebody, somebody that does a product HAP, then obviously you're friending all of the people that comment. But if you were going to go and friend kind of organically, okay, say people aren't getting a ton of comments on their HAPs, and you know, on our list, we say go friend so many people a day. What would be a few tips to do or not do when you're friending not by doing host to post? So say you're just like, you're going to go friend some people. What are some like do nots?
Do not friend anybody on the suggested friends list. Do not. Tip 2 would be try to stay away from too many people and other marketing companies. I definitely don't add anybody that's with, Thrive or Plexus, or unless obviously they're friends of yours. But because a lot of them are taught to, what's the word I'm looking for?
Poach.
To poach. And I just don't have time for that.
No.
So I mean, I do have lots of people. I have unique girls, and I have a couple nail girls, which is fine. But I wouldn't fill your whole page up with marketing people, because you're not going to get anywhere.
No. What about a way that you could find some friends? If somebody was going to if you were going to be like, hey, you go friend some people, what would be one tip you'd give to friend some, like where to go to find some people to friend?
What I like to do, and it's super simple, is one of my friends on my Facebook page, I go to their page. They have a nice page. I'll go to their friends list and kind of just work off of their friends list. People that I see are active on Facebook, people that have friends, people that like to post, people that have, kids like me, or, have activities they like to do, or I just kind of skim their page.
And you're doing that every day where you're growing your network, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Every day. If you don't grow your network, your business will not grow.
So if people are feeling like they're talking to the same people, then they really need to kind of start unfriending some negativity in their circle and friending some different people out of their circle.
Yes.
Okay. How many times a day do you try to post? And when you are posting, what are you posting about? Because I know a lot of people feel like they're struggling with what to post when they're new.
For me, I try to post 4 times a day. I think today I forgot to post this evening because I was so busy with prelims.
Right.
But for me, I'm pretty set schedule, like morning quotes. I'll do like a morning, early afternoon product. So I always talk about the greens, the keto coffee, sometimes maybe the keto energy, but I usually just focus on 3 or 4 products for my page, and that's it. And I will always do a post. I think it's about 12 or 1 I do that. And then in the afternoon, it's Bryce or Kaylee, or maybe if I'm doing something with a girlfriend or something personal. And then in the evening, I try to do a distributor post. That's usually between 7 and 8 o'clock. Sometimes I'll throw in a weight loss in the evening. It just depends if I'm awake and I remember.
So when you were brand new and you weren't making the money you were making now, when you made like a distributor post, what would be kind of an example you'd tell somebody to talk about if they're not making money yet?
Where you want to be, where you see yourself, 3 months from now, you want, whether that's Ruby or, Emerald, kind of what your goals are.
And are you talking about like your goals and you're talking about this every single day, or do you take days off where you don't post about stuff that's going on?
No, if your Facebook page is closed and you're not saying anything, your business is closed. You don't need to be like, join me, join my team. You don't need anything spammy. You want to work it into your lifestyle. You want to work it into your day-to-day. Like, I get to be at home and work with my babies next to me, or you just kind of want to incorporate it.
And you still, even now to this day, being 3 years in, you still go to top leaders' pages and get inspiration and ideas.
Yeah.
You just don't copy paste. You take kind of like the structure and make it fit your life, right?
Correct. Oh yeah, I still do copy paste, but I'll change the emojis. I change words. Obviously, I make it fit me, but it's really nice to have that template.
Okay, perfect. So I want you guys to know that, because I feel like a lot of you are trying to just like do it all yourself and you feel like you need to know everything. And that's not the case. I mean, Nicole's a double diamond, been doing this for 3 years, and she still takes templates and fits it into her everyday life. So when you're posting, like she said, if you take days off from posting, it's basically like you put your closed sign on your business. And you don't have to be salesy. You don't want to be salesy. You want to be yourself. Don't try to be other people. Talk about things you like, your kids, your hobbies. Okay, what about self-development? How much has self-development, growing your mind and be like putting positivity into your day every day really helped you?
Oh, I love it. Sometimes I feel like I might have a hard time some days finding it, and I get mad because I miss it. So what works best for me is I'm pumping and I'm alone, but most of the time I'm doing it in the car, because Bryce usually falls asleep, and I love to listen to the car because I'm usually driving. It's a half hour somewhere. I mean, it's amazing what you can listen to when you're driving around.
So for people who don't like to read, they could just go to like YouTube and search like inspirational videos and find drive or while they're cooking or sitting in the bathtub.
Yeah. Or books. I mean, I love, Girl Wash Your Face is amazing. And right now I'm reading Stop Apologizing. No, I'm not reading. I'm listening to Stop Apologizing.
Yes.
And it's amazing. And you feel so much better. Like every time I listen to it, I just feel so much better.
I think it's because it makes the lows in your life and your business and just everything not feel so low when you're feeding yourself with so much positivity, because it's so easy, especially on social media, to be like dragged down by all the negativity. And I think that's a really important thing that Nikole said. If you actually look at your Facebook pages, guys, you'll see that a lot of people are negative, and people follow Nikole because when they go to her page in the morning, she makes them feel good. She gives them hope. And that's one of the biggest things we're doing, is we're giving people hope that they can have more. So All right. So say you go through your day, and I know that you're not just sitting there, like you have a very active toddler right now, baby. So kind of finish out, we have like 3 minutes left. Finish out a little bit of how your day goes and maybe a few more tips.
One tip I didn't want to forget is make sure you're taking a minute or two throughout the day, just a couple times, and like and comment on some of your friends' stuff, some of their posts. You want to engage because the algorithms are going to put you higher. It's going to put you on their page, and vice versa. So make sure you're liking and loving, and make sure you're commenting at least 5 words.
One question I'll ask for now.
Oh, Nikole or Jake wants to ask you one more question.
Yeah.
So Nikole, you can do every part of this business yourself, pretty much, right?
I can do every part myself?
Yes, you can pretty much do everything by yourself, right? Without help, correct?
No.
I mean, like if we died, you would still run this business.
Oh, yeah.
But how often do you reach out to me and Stephanie for things?
A lot. I think a lot. Sometimes I just want the confirmation, and sometimes like I want help writing a post because I don't think my words are good, or I love Jake's help with numbers, with money. Sometimes should I move this loyal here, or I always ask for help. I reach out to Chad Caneller all the time and ask for help.
Yes.
I have no problem asking for help.
So if you guys are doing it by yourself and you want to be selfish, you have to work with your team. I'll even reach out to Nikole like maybe 2 days after I see she has a bunch of loyals and say, hey, don't forget you got a bunch of loyals to move. How many do you need to move? Do you need help with anything? Sometimes she knows where she's putting them. And then sometimes she's like, I was thinking here, and I give her the input, and then I say, hey, you obviously know you got the final say, but here's what I would do. So work with your team, okay?
Even if you only have one person. Nikole, real quick, last question, and if you have a tip, you can let me know if I cut you off, but cut out all the leadership stuff. I'm talking for all the new people that are on here. If you weren't like doing projected numbers and you were like brand new, okay? How much time would you really need to be able to do these tasks? Like if you really sat down, how fast could you get these tasks done for new people in a day that think that they need like hours and hours?
You could get those tasks done. It's the basic, simple task, 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
So if somebody did 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, 15 minutes there, they can absolutely be successful with not doing this for 4 hours a day.
You're sending out your haps and you're posting, and adding friends, of course.
I think that's the biggest thing I want you guys to understand is I feel like a lot of you feel like because we are stay at home, we spend 12 hours a day doing this. Now, I'm not going to tell you there's not days where we don't put in a ton of time because we do a lot for everybody. But we do this so that we don't have to work 8-hour days. Okay? Like, that's not our goal.